Welcome to another one take meal. So everything that you see is out already. This is chicken bouillon, water, salt, cilantro, dried cilantro, a little bit of cinnamon, curry, garam masala, garlic, butter. I like salted butter. Tomato sauce, green onion, fresh parsley. And over here I have some rice. I have not started the rice yet. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what is happening here first. Okay, so this is going to be butter chicken, which is very similar to tikka masala, except milder. It's meant to be mild. It's mild intentionally. The original recipe is from the Punjab region of India and is beloved around the world. It's traditionally made with tandoori chicken, but I don't have any of that. So we're going to use my favorite ingredient, and that is frozen chicken breast tenderloins, bulk frozen chicken breast tenderloins. Now, a lot of times when you're using frozen meats, you will end up not needing to add any salt. And a lot of seasoning blends have salt in them. Fortunately, the curry and garam masala that I use currently do not. So I have 5 chicken tenderloins in my largest pan. This would be one dinner for myself and my 2 children. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to sprinkle just a little bit of curry powder over the chicken. Just let it, and as this starts cooking, right, as the ice starts to melt, the curry powder, and this is Penzeys curry. It's not super strong. It smells amazing. And we're just gonna let that cook. It's on medium-high heat. You can kind of see how the chicken is starting to melt a little bit. Oh, hi, Smitty. I have hella cats up in this house, and sometimes they want attention. So I'm going to open the back door for Mr. Smith. Hey, baby. Do you want to go out? Here, Mommy will open the door for you. It's a nice day. We can leave the door open. So I know it's not the most interesting to watch chicken cook in a pan, but kind of the point of this series and these videos is to let you know exactly what it really looks like to cook food. So I'm gonna let this sizzle merrily. Maybe in the future I'll get some editing skills and add music to these sessions, but I'm committed to one take meals. You know what I'm going to do right now is go get myself a cup of ice water. My ice machine is right here in the kitchen, and I just washed my favorite cup. Okay, you can see the water cooking off of the chicken. That is the salt solution that most commercial frozen chicken is soaked in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about the rice. You see the rice is sitting over here in this pot. There's no water in it yet. I know that the prevailing way that people cook rice is whatever the exact 2-to-1 ratio. And I used to cook rice that way because I lived with someone who insisted it was the only correct way to cook rice. And sometimes it's easier to just go along. But the way I cook rice is a little bit of rice and a whole bunch of water. And that's why I have a 1-quart cup right here. Putting his tongs down, I'm not quite ready for them. And I'm pouring this water in until the rice is covered. And like rice cooker rice, you do the finger. I do probably double that. And I'm going to turn this on medium, almost medium high. And I'm going to rotate the chicken. You can see how it's getting a little white. We want that. That is exactly what we want. But again, I live in a janky old Victorian that is not level, in a town that has no possibility of ever being level. So I have to move my food around a little bit. But if you can see this one, how the white is, this one's a nice one to look at. See how the white of cooked chicken breast is coming up over the edge here? That's what we want. When that gets to a point where it's creeping fully over the top of the chicken, that's when I'll flip it. Just, And again, your stove. My stove needs me to rotate the chicken. Your stove may not need that. I'm going to move the parsley. I don't really want that stuff getting hot because it's meant to be a little bit of freshness at the very end. And so the paper plate that I have in the background is because right now I'm in a paper plate era. And after I flip the chicken and start making the sauce, I'm going to put the chicken on the plate to make my life easier. So instead of trying to stir sauce around these big pieces of chicken, I'm just going to move the chicken. Now see, we've got a nice little rim around here. I want to get this one back down. This guy's a little thick. And we're going to turn this bad boy over. And this one too. You can feel that this is still frozen, right? And you can see right there that it's nowhere near done, okay? And that's fine. The point of this dish is that the chicken and the rice should get done around the same time. I might even decide to cut this chicken up, I don't know. But we gotta cook it through first. I'm going to turn the temperature up a little closer to high for that other side. Also, because that's how I like it. I like to cook on medium high to high. I'm a high temperature cooker, I guess. Especially because I do use a lot of frozen items. So they can tolerate a high heat right from the beginning when you put them in the pan. Frozen chicken that can be cooked right out of the freezer has got to be one of my all-time favorite hacks. Yeah, so that was maybe 3/4 of a cup of rice. It was just the end of a bag. And it looks like I put, this is a 1/4 cup. It was real full. Looks like I put about 3 cups of water. But really, you want the rice, the point of the amount of water is that it needs to be enough water that the rice can dance when it starts boiling. You want the rice to dance in the water. Look how nice that looks. It's not ready though. I'll turn it back over. Oops, my piece broke off. It's whatever. I'm going to put a little bit more curry on this side because that's how I like it. Just gentle, gentle. Curry's very mild. But the curry powder is a big part of what makes the sauce so beautiful. So if you're not a person who likes a lot of spicy stuff, just get yourself a milder curry powder. Well, this one doesn't even have pepper listed until the end. Alright, now I can hear the chicken starting to sizzle. I don't know if you can probably hear it a little bit too, but I'm sure that what you can see is that we've reached a point with this chicken where the water that it released from being frozen has largely sizzled away. And now if you squeeze your chicken, it's soft. So it's clearly at a minimum not frozen anymore. I'm going to scooch these into the middle. And then, I don't know, in about a minute, I'm going to flip them one more time. I really want this curry powder to attach to this side of the chicken. Oh, I can't wait anymore. Flip, 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 flip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a knife. I'm going to go cut this butter. I don't have room to cut over here. I'm going to go cut off a couple of pats of butter and put that in the pan with the chicken. So this is 1 tablespoon cut up into fourths. Just putting it in the pan. Letting it melt all over the chicken. That's what we want. Yeah. It's really quite lovely to watch it happen. And then I'll flip these one more time. And then we'll start working on the sauce. I'm sorry I have to do all the cutting and prep off camera. I just don't have the room. There's not a counter next to my stove. This house was built in 1891. Okay. Now that we're mostly done, I'm going to turn the fire down to medium. Full medium. I do want some Trinity. I'm going to go get some Trinity out of the freezer. I'm going to put the chicken on the side for now. Put some more butter in the pan. Put some Trinity in the pan. And then we'll get going on the saucy sauce. So here's Trinity. Just handfuls. Let the spirit move you. I have no brand loyalty. Just this happened to be the size, the brand that had my size in stock last time I bought a big bag. So there it is. So this is onions, peppers, and celery, and we're going to add some garlic. I just got a fresh jar too, so don't you feel lucky? Opening jars is really such a challenge for me these days. But, you know, it is what it is. About, you know, that much. A little blob in the center of your pan. Go get some more butter. This is 1 more tablespoon. Just gonna let that melt in there. I'm gonna give this a stir. Excuse me. And you can see it's sweating, releasing some moisture, because remember, this was frozen Trinity. So most of what we're doing in this stage at medium heat Just sweating some of that excess water off, okay? Because I'm not using heavy cream because it's not something I typically keep around in the house. Look, I'm going to get this onion skin out. It's just not something I usually have. I have whole milk. So that's already quite a bit more water content than the recipe typically calls for. And I'm assuming that most people will have milk, or whole milk. Even better, if you just keep a can of evaporated milk around for this type of stuff, you'll probably be a lot happier. Just if you're replacing heavy cream with a more watery dairy product, you are going to have to cook it longer to get it to the consistency that you want it to be. And you're going to have to be really, really mindful of the moisture content of your other ingredients. So I'm going to rotate the handle because it's just easier for me to manage that way. And we're going to dry this out. I'm going to sprinkle some chicken broth, bouillon, powder stuff over this in just a minute. I'm going to go cut up the chicken to add back in. Actually, the chicken needs to rest, but like I said, that hella cat's up in here, so I don't, I really have to be careful with stuff like chicken. Now, this can of tomato sauce is a little too big. I'm probably only going to use half of it, and I guess I'll make spaghetti sauce with the other half or something. I don't know. Maybe pizza? Maybe I'll make pizza tomorrow. I have dough, so I'm opening this can right here. Oh my goodness. I feel like such a loser sometimes. My grip is so poor right now. There we go. There we go. Now this tomato sauce is very plain. It doesn't have any seasoning added to it. It's just tomatoes and salt. Another reason to be careful with the salt, because you don't want to end up with inedible food. And when you're using preserved anything, there's just going to be salt. That's just how it is. Salt and sugar. Salt and sugar are preservatives. Like, anyway. It's just what it is. So you can see I'm very fussily making this all very, very flat. Now I'm going to get a spoon, which I also forgot to grab. So this is just a spoon from my drawer. The humidity here is a little tough, so excuse me. I'm just sprinkling this around. There we go. That's enough of that. Because this is also, what, kids? Salty. It's very, very salty. So you can see that's just over half the can. And give that a stir. We want that chicken bouillon powder to gently dissolve for right now. That's all we're doing right now. We're just letting this gently dissolve. We're not adding the milk yet. What I am going to do, though, is get 1 more tablespoon of butter. Now, by the end of this, we're going to have a whole stick of butter in here, okay? An entire stick. For this particular method, just relies on adding butter on top of butter. Butter on top of butter. After this melts in, I'm going to put 1 more tablespoon. Look at that butter melt. And then we'll have 1 final tablespoon at the very end. Maybe 2. Yeah, it'll be 2 at the very end. So just stir, stir. All right, I think I can cut the chicken now. So I'm going to take that and go cut it up so it can be added back in. Gesundheitlich that. Excuse me, princess. You okay, baby? I'm sorry you have this measles, my love. That one extremely thick piece of chicken was not 100% done. It was like 98% done. But that's okay because it's going to finish in the sauce. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add this chicken. Put the plate down. I'm going to stir the chicken in. And then once that's had a chance to marry for a few minutes, we'll see what seasoning adjustments we need to make, because I anticipate I will need at least a sprinkle of garam masala. Yeah. I'm looking at my rice. It's doing pretty well. I can see my rice dancing. And I'll just continue to boil that until it's done. Now, because this is my house, I'm the only one eating it. I'm gonna taste the sauce. Not bad, not bad. I am gonna give this a little sprinkle of curry. Just a little. Okay. Put that over there. Little sprinkle of masala. Just a chup, 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 chup. Because this is strong, okay? So you just want chup, chup, tiny bit. Tiny bit. And to mellow it back down for gentler palates, a little bit of cinnamon. Just chup, chup. There we go. Now I'm going to add the rest of this stick of butter. All right, let me take away the things we're done with so we have a little bit more room. Okay, sorry for all the random noises. I was just making sure that there's enough space in the sink where there's no plastic to drain my rice, because obviously when you make rice this way, you have to drain it. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cilantro in here. And then I think we'll be ready to add the milk. I put a lot because I like a lot. And it's not a strong dried. Oh, that is delightful. All right, so now it's time to add in the milk. Just remember, I'm using whole milk. I don't know, that was probably about a cup. I can't remember. But look at that beautiful color. That's what we're after. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put the lid on and turn this baby up. We want it to bubble. But sauces that have tomato paste or tomato sauce in them tend to be a little on the thick side, and you do not want that to stick you. I'm gonna give the rice a stir. It might be ready to drain. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go drain the rice. Turn this burner off. That's just the pan going back on the hot burner. Now I do have my rice in a colander draining over the pan I cooked it in. And I do rinse it very quickly in cold water right when I'm done so that it stops cooking, because I don't want it to get mushy. Nobody wants that. You can also, if you find this is taking a little bit too long for your liking, you can use a little bit of cornstarch. I prefer to be patient because I think it makes a better sauce. But I get hungry, okay? Sometimes you don't want to wait. Sometimes you want your sauce now. All right, let's give this a stir. See how we're doing. Look at that bubble. Man, I wish you could smell this. But pretty soon, you will be able to smell it. I'm gonna put the lid on, and I'm gonna turn it all the way up to high. I want this to bubble. And the milk can handle it. You can practically see it thicken. Well, not practically. You can see it thicken while you watch, because that is, in fact, what we're doing. I'm going to put my seasonings away, because we are, in fact, pretty done. My spice rack is right next to the stove. It's not ideal, honestly, but like I said, I gotta make do with what I have, because I live in a teensy-weensy Victorian, and I have like one cabinet in this whole house. Let's give it a stir. It's almost ready, y'all. All right, I'm gonna go get a bowl and a little ladle. Turn this off. Again, the challenge is I need you to understand that my stove stands alone, all by itself. It's not near anything except an IKEA Trofast unit that I bought secondhand and have converted to a pantry. So this phone is clipped to the Trofast where all the spices and baking ingredients live. And if I want anything else, I have to figure it out. Like, I had to build a shelf for my coffee maker. So that's what I'm working with. So I'm gonna take a scoop of rice. So rice, I like rice fine, but it's not really the point for me. And now, oh, look at that thicken up. And this would typically feed 1 adult, 2 teenagers, and have a snack size portion left over the next day. Hope you enjoyed this highly Americanized take on butter chicken. Have a great night.